This is like Dunk Contest 2000, Vince Carter, it's over. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Ox here with another video. If you're new to the channel, we do upload Pokemon Go content mostly related to PvP, so please consider subscribing to the channel if that is of interest to you. And if you're a returning subscriber like Saif Ali, thank you for the support. In today's video, we are shoutcasting some battles for the Great League in Season 8 of the Pokemon Go Battle League. These battles were submitted to the channel by KevinSaludares. Kevin is a Twitch streamer and the reigning Silph Ontario Regional Tournament Champion. Ontario is a very big province within Canada, so pulling off a tournament win of that size is very impressive and just goes to speak of how skillful he is as a battler. I will have links to both Kevin's Twitter and his Twitch down below in the description. So this looks like a very solid team. Nidoqueen, of course, was one of the Pokemon that benefited the most from the buff to poison types this season. Running both Poison Jab and Poison Fang, it is a legitimate threat across the meta now, and I feel like being a Shadow also adds to the power of this Pokemon. Poison Jab really starts to add up, and with the Poison Fang lowering the defense, it really chunks away at the opponent. We've seen the power of Scrafty in some of the recent videos on this channel, very strong as a closer, especially with shields, and Azumarill, one of the top meta picks, always a safe bet to use as a safe switch. If you guys enjoy this type of content, please make sure you smash that like button, it really helps the channel grow. Leave a comment in the comment section down below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and without any further ado, let's jump into the first battle right now. Alright, so let's hop into these battles right here. Once again, huge shout out to KevinSaludares for the submission. Very excited to watch these battles. First match, we got Shadow Nidoqueen into a Ferrothorn, and this is an interesting matchup right here. Of course, the poison jabs are being resisted by the Ferrothorn, and Power Whip is going to hurt. So let's see if the shield comes up here. Going to let the first one go through, does a lot, but able to survive, and going straight for the Earth Power right here. The Ferrothorn lets that go through, and I believe at this point, the Nidoqueen should be able to win this in the one shield. So expect the shield to come up here. It is a mirror shot and possibly farm down. No, going to go for the Poison Fang here. Farm down probably not likely there considering how much these bullet seeds are doing, and is going to take switch advantage in exchange for the shield deficit. So opponent comes in with a Sableye here, going to farm down. It's actually a Shadow Sableye, so that's a very good matchup for Scrafty in the back. Actually, both Scrafty and Azumarill have pretty good matchups here against the Sableye. This Sableye, of course, being a Shadow, is not going to be running return. Opponent comes with Mandibuzz, and here comes Azumarill. So actually a very smart play there by Kevin to come in with the Scrafty, because now Azumarill versus Mandibuzz is an absolute wall, and this game is basically in the bag. Even though Kevin is down in shields, able to get the perfect alignment right here. You know, I might have brought in the Azumarill against the Scrafty there, and then I would have been screwed in the back with this Mandibuzz against the Scrafty. So very well done by Kevin here, reading the opponent's line and able to get the correct alignment here. So Air Lace coming through, a pretty straightforward match here for Azumarill, just going straight play rough, and the opponent swaps out into Sableye here. So Kevin is going to let this go through. It is a Power Gem, swaps out into the Scrafty here, and Foul Play is going to be doing a lot of damage to the Shadow. Takes it out, and Mandibuzz coming back in. This game is over. Opponent doesn't want the smoke in match number 1. Backs out. Let's hop into the next one. We got Jam HFC here in the second battle. Shadow Nidoqueen into a Sableye. And Kevin did mention that Sableye is one of the more problematic Pokemon to encounter with this team. And look at this. Hard counter in the back. Meganium coming. So Azumarill here definitely could survive one Frenzy Plant. And the Meganium in turn can also survive an Ice Beam here. So just going to exchange moves. And the Meganium should be able to actually farm down here before the Ice Beam comes, but they're going to throw energy, which is a huge break for Kevin here because it didn't look like he would actually get to the Ice Beam there. And the opponent is going to take on Nidoqueen right here. Gonna see a shield come up for sure, I'd imagine, and farm down with the Poison Jab. And now Nidoqueen is loaded on energy. Skarmory comes in here. So Kevin is going to be going for the Poison Fangs here. And I like this play because even if he does swap out into the Scrafty after, because the defense is going to be so low on the Skarmory, they're pretty much going to be forced to swap out anyways. So I like that play. Let's see if they decide to shield here on the Sky Attack. Decides not to. and swaps out into the Scrafty. Opponent instantly brings in the Sableye here, and at this point it kind of becomes a baiting game because he is down in shields. So going to shield up the first one and calls the return. That's a huge break right there, and going for the foul play. Will the opponent shield this up? They let it go through, so that's a big break. And now Kevin could pretty much go straight power up punch at this point because he did already land the foul play. So power up punch going to go through. You never want to shield a pup, of course, but look at that. They get farmed down. And with 2 shields left, will Scrafty be able to take out the Skarmory here? It has received a boost with the power up punches. Probably going to have to sack the Nidoqueen. There it is! What a great switch into Nidoqueen to catch the Sky Attack there. The 3rd shield coming in play, going for the pup here to get the boosted counters once again. And can they farm down before the next Sky Attack? Yes, he can. Scrafty putting in the work there. We already saw Scrafty pulling up the big boy pants in the previous video. Continuing in this one, Scrafty is legitimate and a very strong pick. We got Nidoqueen into Altaria right here. And this is actually a very interesting matchup because apparently Nidoqueen now can win this with the Poison Fang and the buffs to Poison Jab. I don't think it could win it before those buffs, but now you could see, look at how much these Poison Jabs are doing, especially after the Poison Fang comes through. Going to shield once here, and Nidoqueen should be able to win this in the 1 shield. So let's see how this plays out. Going for 1 more Poison Fang right here. That forces the shield out of the Altaria, and the Altaria is going to throw another Sky Attack. So a bit unfortunate there. Going to let this go through, but could come in with the Azumarill and get a nice energy lead here on the next Pokemon. They stay in with the Altaria to maintain alignment, it looks like. So let's see what the opponent has in the back. They actually come in with an Azumarill. So this works out well for Kevin here, of course, because keeping this Azumarill away from the Scrafty. And of course, if the opponent's best counter for Azumarill is their own Azumarill, they're probably going to be quite weak to it in the back. So going to be interesting to see what they have. This team kind of smells like it could be a Galarian Stunfisk in the back, potentially. You know, didn't want to bring it into the Azumarill. If that's the case, of course, Scrafty going to have a very good matchup here. So going to let this go through. Should be another play rough. And the opponent swaps out into Deoxys, so it's actually a little bit problematic for the Scrafty right here. So let's see how this plays out here. Opponent is throwing immediately. It is the Thunderbolt. Good shield by Kevin right there. And going for the foul play. So let's see if the opponent wants to shield this up. They do. So good shields on both sides. Can the Scrafty outpace the foul play? Yes, it can. It's going to be doing a lot of damage. But the Deoxys should still be able to win this matchup right here. Going to throw, could be a Psycho Boost, which actually would not KO the Scrafty. And because it lowers the attack, still able to take out the Scrafty though. But that gives the Azumarill an extra bubble right there. And the opponent backs out. So Kevin was pretty much right at that ice cream, so was going to win that game anyways. GG's. Ashalex in the next matchup. We got Shadow Nidoqueen into a Galarian Stunfisk. So pretty rough lead here for Nidoqueen. Gonna swap out into the Azumarill right here. And the opponent looks like they're staying in for a little bit. And usually when they stay in this long, probably going to throw the Earthquake before swapping out. There is the Earthquake. Decides to no shield that. Opponent swaps out into their own Azumarill. So once again, we're seeing opponents here having an Azumarill as their main counter. So this gets you thinking about what their 3rd Pokemon is going to be, right? It's probably going to be weak to Azumarill if this is their best counter. So you have to start planning accordingly from this point. And the great thing about this mirror matchup is that it actually gives you a lot of time to think about what you want to do. So because the opponent did stand there with the Stunfisk, notice that the switch timers are desynced, so that allows the Nidoqueen to come back in here. Going to shield once and I imagine farm down completely, which is going to be a huge energy lead. Opponent swaps out into the Stunfisk. Here comes the Earth Power. Is this going to land on the Stunfisk? Gets the shield. And I imagine at this point, Kevin is not going to shield this up, come in with the Scrafty. So probably let this go through. It is the Earthquake that's going to knock out the Nidoqueen. And here comes the Scrafty. Now notice Kevin did not throw the Poison Fang there. Wanted to either get the opponent to throw the energy or get to the Earth Power. Now comes in with the Scrafty, going for the Power Up Punch. And let's see what the opponent's going to do here. Does the side shield, calls the Earthquake. That is a huge call right there. Able to farm down completely. And this Scrafty is loaded. We see a Sableye in the back. And going to go for the bait here. Wants to get the final shield with the Power Up Punch. And the opponent no shields. That's a huge call right there. Going to swap out into Azumarill to catch the move. Did they catch the return right here? They did catch the return. Wow, that was amazing. Sableye undercharged that, of course. But look at this. The Scrafty comes back in, going for the Power Up Punch to get the attack boost first, confident that they will be able to get to the Foul Play before the next return from the Sableye. Able to do it. Foul Play comes through, takes out the Scrafty, Azumarill gets headbutted, and Scrafty finishes off the game right there. Very impressive win. Poke Hunter 1329 in the next battle. We got Nidoqueen into Alolan Ninetales, and this is, well, we don't know which Ninetales it is yet, but the opponent swaps out into Diggersby, and here comes the Scrafty. Very nice matchup right here. This should be a Fire Punch. Yes, it is. And the Scrafty are going to go for the Power Punch, get loaded here. I guess the main issue is that all of this energy that Scrafty could potentially leave with isn't going to be of too much use against Ninetales, but it still does do a bit. So notice Scrafty decides to no shield there to have as little HP as possible on the Ninetales. I'm actually surprised that the opponent didn't shield that, because they might have been able to take switch there if they did, but they decide not to. Come in with the Ninetales, swap out into Jellicent. And this is a bit of a problem here because both Nidoqueen and Azumarill kind of have a rough matchup here against Jellicent. So we see the Earth Power land, that is huge, and swaps out into Azumarill. So now this game becomes a lot more playable after landing that Earth Power right there. See the Shadow Ball come through, but now this is in range where Azumarill could actually threaten it, whereas before it would be very difficult for Azumarill to do anything to this Jellicent. So very important to land that Earth Power right there. And the Jellicent going for another Shadow Ball. Azumarill should be able to get to one more move right here. Opponent swaps out into Alolan Ninetales low to catch this Play Rough right here. And I assume they will go for a complete farm down with Charm. And the Nidoqueen comes back in. Going to shield once, should be able to farm down. And then I believe 2 Poison Fangs should be enough to take this game at this point. The Jellicent is quite low. Here comes the first Poison Fang. And should be able to get to the second one right here. Has a shield, so going to shield this up and should be able to outpace, and this next Poison Fang should be enough to take out the Jellicent and win this game. So very solid play by Kevin right there, and able to take 5 wins out of those battles. Very well done. So let's hop into the next set of battles right here, and we got Vic Rioja. This is my boy right here. Huge shout out to Vic, very talented trainer, often on the front page of the leaderboards. And a big shout out to Mexico. We got a lot of Mexican viewers on the channel. I love each and every one of you. Gracias por el apoyo. Viva Mexico. And we got Shadow Nidoqueen into Vic's famous Altaria. Vic is always leading Altaria. Every time I battled him, always an Altaria lead right here. And let's see how this goes for the Shadow Nidoqueen. So going for the Poison Fang right here. And the Altaria is going to shield that up. And going to outpace to the Sky Attack right here. So going to let this go through, come in with the Azumarill, and get a nice little farm here. So Vic's going to stay in, maintain the alignment, and Azumarill is quite loaded on energy right here. And here we see another Azumarill coming in as the counter. So at this point, I'm pretty sure Vic has a Stunfisk in the back. And if that's the case, it's going to be a GG because Scrafty don't play when it comes to that Stunfisk matchup. Azumarill here, going for the Play Rough. This is one of the more exciting mirror matches in all of Go Battle League right here. Sneaking in the extra bubble, always very nice. Play Rough comes through, and Azumarill should be able, well, Kevin's Azumarill, I should say, should be able to take this matchup right here. Swaps onto the Stunfisk, there it is. Scrafty coming in. This is yum yum for Scrafty right here. This is basically the dinner it's been waiting for all night. Gonna throw the Power Up Punch. And at this point, let's see if Kevin's going to shield this up. Gonna let it go through. Earthquake wouldn't KO, so it does call the bait right there with the Rock Slide, and that is the nail in the coffin. Power Up Punch coming through does get the shield, but at this point, doesn't really matter. Could actually even let this go through, to be honest, which they do. Not enough to KO, but Scrafty gonna be able to take out the Azumarill once again with the headbutt, and a very solid win right there. GG's to Vic though, that's my guy. Karaki Mai in the next matchup. And we got Shadow Nidoqueen into Medicham. So, very nice matchup here for Nidoqueen. Of course, Ice Punch would hurt, but this is a situation where having the new and improved Poison Jab and the Poison Fang pays big dividends. So, defense drop as you see on the Medicham here. Gonna shield up the potential Ice Punch. Was trying to swap out there, it looked like, but wasn't able to. So at this point, I imagine they'll just stay in with the Nidoqueen. And the opponent is going to let that go through. Actually, a simultaneous swap right there. And we see Stunfisk come into Azumarill. So a pretty good matchup here for Kevin. Earthquake comes through. Would have been pretty amazing if he simultaneously swapped into Scrafty. But Azumarill obviously makes a lot more sense here if you're doing a blind swap. And Stunfisk going to throw another Earthquake right here, yes. And Azumarill going to get to an Ice Beam. Stunfisk should be able to survive this right here, but it actually decides to shield instead. And that means that Scrafty is going to eat. So the opponent did a good job there throwing on the CMP tie to prevent the Ice Beam from coming through. But here comes the Scrafty, and the opponent makes a great swap out into the Medicham here to catch this move. That's going to KO the Medicham right here. The Scrafty is pretty much awaiting its opponent right here, and it's actually an Azumarill. Here comes Nidoqueen, and Azumarill is switch locked here because the opponent did sack swap the Medicham. So Nidoqueen going to be able to take full advantage of this right here. Going to shield this up, I imagine. Want to get rid of this Azumarill right here. Should be able to get to a Poison Fang, and this will be enough to take out the Azumarill. That Stunfisk will probably be able to take out the Nidoqueen here, but I think the Scrafty has too much health still where it will survive an Earthquake. Yeah, that's way too much health. So opponent backs out, Scrafty closing out that game once again. And Kevin putting on a show right here on the road to veteran rank. Let's hop into the next battle. We got Shadow Nidoqueen into a Mandibuzz. So pretty interesting matchup right here. Shadow Nidoqueen could win this with shields, so let's see how this plays out here, going straight for the Poison Fangs, lowering the defense on the Mandibuzz, and these Poison Jabs are absolutely chunking away here at the Mandibuzz. Foul Play comes through, does a lot of damage, but the Nidoqueen able to take that. Gonna shield up the second one though, and Nidoqueen should be able to take this from this point on. It'll be interesting to see if the Mandibuzz decides to shield or just let it go down. They do decide to shield here, and I believe Nidoqueen, no, actually it's gonna get outpaced here. So going to shield a second time, and gonna throw the Poison Fang immediately. I don't expect the Mandibuzz to shield at this point. They do let it go down. So Kevin takes switch and swaps out into Azumarill. And look at this right here. Because Kevin actually saved the Nidoqueen, brought in the Azumarill here, has two good answers to the Stunfisk, so coming up with Azumarill makes sense. Going to be able to chunk away at this Alolan Ninetales, which means that the Scrafty probably won't have to see it now. If he actually decides to stay in and just go for alignment, could have been in some trouble if that Scrafty had to run into the Ninetales here. So able to take out the Ninetales there. Holy smokes. The opponent still has a shield, so they're putting all their faith into the Stunfisk +1 shield. Unfortunately for them, they're not going to like what they see in the back in the form of Scrafty here. Also forced to throw energy, so Rock Slide coming through. Scrafty going to come in, and at this point I would not be surprised to see the opponent just surrender and let this one go. Goes for the Earthquake though. Scrafty able to get to the Power Punch. The opponent actually was probably pretty close to another move there, so they almost pulled it off, but just a bit too much force here in the back from the Scrafty, taking that game. Let's hop into the next battle. And we got Shadow Nidoqueen into a Venusaur. So great lead right here for Nidoqueen. Poison Jab going to absolutely chunk right here. And you could see how quickly this Venusaur is going down. And look how quickly it gets the Poison Fang as well, right? It's a pretty busted move right now. Defense drop. Gonna shield up the Frenzy Plant here for sure. And let's see if they can commit to the farm now. No, opponent swaps out into Sableye. So here comes the Scrafty right here. Opponent does have a shield advantage, however. So Scrafty gonna let this go through right here. Does get hit by the return. That is not great. Going to be able to land this foul play at least, and potentially could get to one more foul play, I think, before getting taken out here. Sableye will probably go for the farm down, which does allow Scrafty to get to one more foul play right here. And the opponent double shields, so at this point could come in with the Azumarill right here, and of course have to call the return or the bait. Calling the bait, it is a return right here. Of course it's not going to KO, so you could definitely tank one. And the opponent swaps out into Venusaur to catch this Ice Beam, so this will be enough to take out the Venusaur right here. Still has a full health Nidoqueen in the back. Opponent with a Sableye, and we'll have to see what the final Pokemon is. So Going to let this go through here. It's only a foul play, and now comes in with the Nidoqueen. Probably will shield this up at this point. Yes, they are. And I expect the opponent to swap out. No, they're probably still switch lots, so they get farmed down. That's a huge break for Nidoqueen right here. And it's a Bastiodon in the back. And I know people in the comments love seeing the Bastiodon get hit by the nukes. Here comes an Earth Power from a Shadow Nidoqueen with the defense drop. Bang! There it is. Bastiodon catching those hands from the Nidoqueen. Actually able to hang on and survive. But unfortunately for the Bastiodon, one bubble from Azumarill is going to take it out. Very impressive win right there. So let's hop into the next battle. And I believe this is the final battle of the video. We got Zico here for the final one. And Shadow Nidoqueen into Alolan Ninetales. You love to see it. So the opponent going to swap out into Azumarill. And when you're swapping out of an Alolan Ninetales into an Azumarill to counter a Shadow Nidoqueen, this is like Dunk Contest 2000. Vince Carter, it's over. There is no coming back right here. Azumarill going for the Ice Beam bait as well. This game is looking very rough for the opponent right here. Going to throw the Play Rough now. And one Play Rough should be enough to KO. Over farming quite a bit right here. And let's see what the opponent's going to come back in with. Here comes the Ninetales. So this team looks like it really does not want to see either Azumarill or Nidoqueen at this point. And it is a Charm Ninetales, so it looks like the opponent's going for the complete farm down. And here comes the Play Rough. They have to respect this or else the Ninetales is going down with all that energy. Bang! There it is. Diggersby in the back. Opponent doesn't want the smoke. Perfect way to finish off the set. And that is how KevinSaludares got to veteran rank. So those were the battles featuring Shadow Nidoqueen, Azumarill, and Scrafty. Clearly a team that works. Did help KevinSaludares reach veteran rank quite early in the season as well. So definitely a team that you guys could test out if you're looking for a strong Nidoqueen lead team. Once again, big thank you to KevinSaludares for the battles. Definitely check out his socials in the description below. If you guys enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like, commenting, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.